Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome Your Excellency Maria Castillo Fernandez. Welcome to the webinar of from Islamic Renaissance Front. I would like to welcome our attendees, participants to our IRF webinar. So as some may have been aware or who have participated in our previous events, this is part of a discussion series on important and critical issues related to our society, mainly in Malaysia, but also brings a lot of relevance to a lot of other people in the other parts of the world as well. Because one thing that we are sharing something very much common globally is the situation of threat coming from the COVID-19 virus, and we are hopefully, as things are going on, we are moving more towards a phase of recovery. So we've touched on a lot of critical topics in the past several weeks. We've discussed about how does the situation of the threat of the COVID-19 is affecting the situation of the rule of law in countries. How is it affecting the situation of the practice of democracy, of freedom of religion? And also last week, we just had a session with Professor K.S. Jomo on the effect of COVID-19 on the situation of the economy, particularly in Malaysia. And as now we are already moving towards what we would say that perhaps is already the later stages of what is known in Malaysia as the movement control order, or in some other countries more as the lockdown. Most, I would say, at least some of our Malaysians, we are already moving towards resuming our work and businesses as not the same as within the past 4 or 5 weeks. But one thing for sure, the works and businesses is not the same as before the COVID-19 pandemic spreads in our society. And that would be the main focus and topic of our discussion this week. Mainly is on post-COVID-19, what is actually the new normal. The COVID-19 pandemic has touched almost all of us, directly or indirectly, and had impacted almost all sectors in our community. Almost all governments in the world have imposed strict measures to contain the virus in terms of restricting movement of citizens. And up to this date, more than 4 million people have been infected, with almost 300,000 deaths. In order for us to flatten the curve, we were demanded to observe strict social distancing. Until and unless a vaccine is developed in the near future, these measures are here to stay. Our way of life has been changed due to this pandemic. We are forced by the situation to embrace a new normal. The most universally accepted form of a friendly greeting, a handshake, might not be an acceptable norm anymore. Wearing a face mask is encouraged even though we are easing out from the restrictions. Definitely, it will take a long time for us to fully recover, and perhaps avoiding a handshake, wearing a mask, and maintaining a physical distance is going to be our new normal. And of course, the notable implications of this virus is about working from home phenomenon. The business sector among the small and medium-sized enterprise and the education sector were forced to reconsider the standard procedure of business strategies and face-to-face teaching methods, mostly for educationists. Many have embraced it and consider this remote working condition to be implemented in the long term and going to be a new normal. Similarly, in the area of digitalization, where this pandemic has somehow forced for the adoption of a digital culture. Buying groceries online, using digital wallets, taking a center stage and probably a trend in the near future and a new normal. While digital payments are not unheard of in this region of the world, more than 60% of consumers are confident in going cashless for a full day, according to some studies. consumers are also able to use e-wallet for Grab Pay and Apple Pay and to proceed with transactions while maintaining the social distance. And now, for after all, instead of seminars, we are having webinars as we are having it today now. And some are also talking about other types of virtual engagements, including weddings, classes, conferences, etc. So, will these new trends in our social life stay for good and form a new normal, or will they disappear when a vaccine is found later? So, this set webinar will be focusing on this particular topic, and we'll discuss this topic in more detail. So, our speaker for this webinar session is Her Excellency Maria Castillo Fernandez. I would like to welcome Maria again. Welcome, Maria.
Yeah, selamat tinggal hari to everyone.
Thank you very much, Maria. Before I pass the session to Maria, I will just briefly read through her biography. Maria Castillo Fernandez is ambassador and head of delegation of the European Union to Malaysia. Previously, she was based in Brussels at the European External Action Service EEAS of the European Union as head of division for India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. Her prior overseas postings include official roles in Hong Kong and Macau as head of office and in Seoul. Besides working for EEAS, she has an extensive career with the European Commission. Her Excellency Castillo completed postgraduate studies in European law, economics, and international relations with 2 masters, one at the College of Europe in Bruges, Belgium, and a second at the Institute of European Studies in Strasbourg, France, following a degree in law from Universidad Autónoma de Madrid in Spain. Her Excellency Castillo was decorated with the Cruz de Oficial de la Orden la Mérito Civil by the King of Spain on the 24th of June. Okay, I think for now, without further delay, I would like to pass the session for Her Excellency Maria to give the talk.